I'll turn our volume up, and we'll come here so that people can see the people can see the map that Tommy from Black Dragon Gaming made for us with a program that he and Joe from Black Dragon Gaming have been using to make maps for them. So, for those actually watching the visuals, you have Black Dragon Gaming to thank for the new map of the southern colony of the Dawnstar Southern Colony. So, thanks to them. Let's get to our announcements before we start up the game today. This is a disclaimer. You have this particular podcast does not feature adults using adult language. This is our kid-friendly podcast, and it is a one-on-one with me and my son playing a game in the Dawnstar Southern Colony. Misadventures in the Southern Colony is what it is called. And let's go ahead and get to the next thing. We have our Patreon going for the Planar Crossroads. If we hit $50 a month, we're going to be giving away a rulebook to one of our patrons, any patrons. And if we get to $100 a month, we're going to be giving away a special edition Pathfinder 2E book for the playtest. So there you go, a special edition of the Pathfinder playtest for 2nd edition. So that is pretty cool, but we got to get to $100 a month on the Patreon first. Our current video and session is the 6th session of our Misadventures in the Southern Colony, and we're going to be seeing what Masterson is going to be sending Moon on, but we'll cover that in the recap. Our next subscriber appreciation one-shot will be at 200. Colin is going to be running that if everything works out, and he has a plan for a lot of fun stuff to go on there. Our this month's giveaway is a D20 mug. So there we go, a D20 mug. You guys can't see it. You can see it in other places, but it's a red mug with white numbers, and it has a little lid with it, and it is shaped like a D20. So there you go.
And it has a 20 on it.
Yes. We, as far as no new releases at the moment, we're currently preparing for 2nd edition. I'm planning to do some fun stuff during that time period, so it should be pretty cool to see that. Cons. We're going to the con in June, so if you want to see us at the St. Louis Comic Con being held in St. Charles, there by St. Louis, you can do that. And I believe that's everything. So, let's go ahead and get into the game, Session 6. So to recap, last time, Moon was brought in after having dealt with the results of his failed attempt to sneak into a house and deliver a letter covertly to the maiden of the house. He was brought before Shire Reef Masterson, and the Shire Reef of Crossroads did not think that this little 8-year-old Kitsune, this little Kitsune boy, was really up to anything malicious. He believed what he said he was about. But he let him go with a fine, and Moon did leave, and he went out, and now he is set up in the Golden Grain Inn because he was going to spend the night outside, but he decided not to when it started raining in the middle of the night. So he came in late to the Golden Grain Inn and paid for an entire year of stay at the Golden Grain. So there you go. And that's what he decided to do. To think that's everything that happened. Oh, that's not everything that happened. Then the next morning, Masterson. The next morning, a deputy of the sheriff, a deputy of the Shire Reef, came and said that Masterson wanted to meet with him. They would meet over lunch here at the Golden Grain, and that's where we're kind of coming in, because Masterson has sat down across from Moon and has started talking to him. And he says, I think I'll go... let me get the right voice. Let me get... Oh, it's in my head. Oh...
It's this voice, like that.
Now I believe I have something right up your alley. So, you open to helping out the town of Crossroads?
Yes.
Now I'm willing to pay you.
You don't have to pay me anything.
Are you sure you want to work pro bono, I guess? Well, I won't. Wait, let me tell you what it's about first, and then we'll decide if you're going to want to be paid or not. Now, what I'm needing, he says, as he starts to eat a little bit on his food that he ordered, he does kind of look around to make sure no one's listening. And he doesn't seem to catch anybody's eye. Or linger on it too much. But he kind of leans closer all the same. And he says, "Now, Moon, I believe it was."
Yes.
You gotta speak loud so people...
Yes.
Speak in front of your face.
Yes.
Now, I'm needing a little bit of sneaking done.
Why do you want me to sneak after I just snuck and got in jail?
No, not in town, not in town. I need some information from well, I have a suspicion. I don't want to involve any of my deputies because I think one of them might be helping. But I think there's a bit of bandits hidden out between here and the mountains, in between Crosstown and the mountains, to the
where the minotaurs like to run around.
Well, there's some minotaurs there, but not a lot. I'm not sure. We see a lot of hoof prints, but nothing has made us suspect minotaurs. But we're not sure what's going on. And I'm thinking they're planning to do a raid. Just a quick one, but I want to head them off at the pass on that. So, what I'm wanting to have happen is you sneak into their camp where I'm pretty sure they are.
Like, I could get in the tall grass and some small enough I could sneak in the tall grass in my fox form and just go in their place. Or dig a hole into their place.
Well, I don't know. You can handle it however you want. But they're in between here and the mountains. In between Crosstown and the mountains there. And I'm suspecting that they're maybe at most a day out. Probably less than that. Especially since I saw some smoke on the edge of town. Me, the guards and the watch. And not at the edge of town, but from the edge of town we've seen some smoke. And I'm suspecting it's from their fires, but it's really faint, so probably within half a day or day's journey from here into the grasslands there. So I'm wanting to have you, like you said, you're small, you can get in the grass, you can go and you find stuff. I'm wanting to have you go out there and see if you can find what's going on. Maybe they're not wanting to invade or do a raid. I don't know, but I'd like to find out.
I could look through a window and hear their conversations when they get a meeting at late night or something.
Well, I suspect you're going to find them out in tents and pitched in tents and stuff like that. I don't think they're going to be holed up in any kind of structure, but I could be wrong. So
they could have wooden point logs, 1-point logs. Keep people out. Gates.
I don't know. But that'll be something for you to find out. What I want you to do is you just go find them. And the Crosstown will compensate you for you helping. Don't you worry about that. We just need to know what's going on. So that's about where I know they are. So if you want to take care of that, that'd be good.
So I just follow the smoke?
Well, if you see some smoke, you probably do good to follow it. But like I said, they've been trying. If they are close, they've been keeping the smoke trails to a minimum. Probably trying to mask their numbers, especially since it's not cold right now.
Okay. So which edge of town?
The one the east part of town. Northeast part of town. That'll be over close to the mountains there.
Okay.
It's in between here and the mountains to the east, and the grasslands.
Okay. Can I finish my breakfast first, though?
Oh, yeah. You can do what you want. I just wanted to see if you could do that. And he's already finished up his as he was talking. He was to let you reply. He finishes his lunch and says, I don't want to stay too long here because I think it might cause some problems. If I'm seen with you, whoever's helping them might get suspicious. So I'm just going to go on, and they'll probably think that I was just making sure that you weren't up to no good, but we'll let them think that until you get me the information.
I look around to see if someone look or listen.
Okay. Make sure you speak when you're...
Ooh.
Make sure you speak up when you're...
That is a 1.
A 1 plus your perception. Which is 5. So 1 plus 5.
6.
Okay. Look around, you don't see anybody listening in or anything. So.
Okay. I wait until he leaves, I finish my breakfast, and I head out
Your lunch, because you came at lunch.
And I head out the door.
Okay. You need to speak up if you're going to speak. So, you head out, and you can see how loud you need to speak by looking at the bar right there. You need to get it in the green up a little, like right here. That'd be good.
Okay.
But, so you want to head out? He said that it may take a day, so, you haven't bought a tent or anything that I know of, or a sleeping roll or anything that I know of, so it's up to you if you want to get that before you leave. But, you can...
Half man's outfits?
Half man's outfitters? He's got more like clothes and suits of smaller armors and stuff.
Where I asked the money taker, what's the name of it?
The money taker?
The person that's job is to take this stuff that they ordered and give it to them.
You didn't order anything that I remember.
Food.
Oh, you mean when you bought food?
Yeah, I asked the person.
Oh, you mean here at the Golden Grain?
Yes.
Oh, you asking Matilda. She's up right now. You can ask Matilda.
I asked Matilda. Where? I asked Matilda where northeast is from here.
Where northeast is? Well, you kind of know where northeast is.
Oh.
Compass is right. For all intents and purposes, you've grown up in this area, so you know that if you go straight north from here, you'd see Iron Stronghold, and then if you went left from here, or which would be east, you would come into that part of Crosstown and start to cross over into the grasslands between the mountains and Crosstown, which is where he said to look.
Okay, I head over there. it may be dark, like just getting dark or sunset when I get there. So what is it going to be, sunset or...
If you leave now, you don't know how far it is, because he doesn't, because Masterson couldn't tell you how far it is either.
I changed into my fox form. I don't think that needs a roll, because last time I did it didn't need a roll.
No, it doesn't need a roll. You just polymorph yourself into a, well, for all intents and purposes, you change into a fox. You can do that. You're going to do that in the middle of the Golden Grain?
When I get out into the grass.
Oh, okay. So you're going to go ahead now, then,
and
not talk to Matilda. Okay. Okay, so you come through the mercantile district. You cross it over. You go outside of the residential area on the east side of Crosstown, and you make it to the road that leads northeast from Crosstown, and you can just go right out. You can just walk right straight out. There doesn't seem to be any active farms on this side.
I look around and look behind me to make sure no one's looking.
Okay.
And that's gonna need a roll. A 6 plus 5. Wait, that's 11.
It's 11. So, let me see with an 11. So you go and you look about a bit. You can see over the grasslands, and as you do, you kind of look over the grass itself is still green. I believe we decided it was late summer or into almost fall when we started. I'm not quite sure, but I believe that's what we said. I'll have to go back. Anyway, the grass is green and tall. And you're not that tall, but even to a grown man, it comes up at least to the waist. And then in some areas you see that it gets up almost to shoulder, but that's way off in the distance. And as the wind comes across it, it makes waves in the grass. And as you look out...
I can imagine that right now.
Yeah. And as you look out, you can see and smell the grass. You're in your fox form, you said?
Now I am.
Okay, so...
I looked around to see if no one was there, and I polymorphed into a fox.
Okay, so you're in your full fox form. And you want to start heading to the east to see to the east-northeast if you can find what he's looking for?
Yes. I head out that way running.
Okay. So, what would work well for you? Let's say a knowledge local. Just to have an idea of the area that you're in here, this grassland area.
Okay. 7.
That's not a 7, that's a 17.
17 plus or minus?
It's plus, you get a plus 6, so 17 plus 6.
23.
23. So you know that this area of Crosstown...
natural 17.
Yes, natural 17. So this portion of the southern colonies... this portion of... is still within the Crosstown's jurisdiction, and it's sometimes by the people in town called the Forgotten Farms, because Lord's Farm, for those looking on the map, is to the west of Crosstown, and it became the major hub and center of agriculture in the southern colony, especially with its association with High Hill and High Hill Castle. It really boomed Whereas the stuff closer to the mountains separating Valley Lake and Crosstown and those grasslands in between, they kind of dropped off, and people moved. Farmers that were here moved over to Lord's Farm or went and did other things to the north and south of that area there by Crosstown. So these are kind of called the Forgotten Farms, and occasionally, this is important because occasionally you come into a area that you can tell was definitely an old home place, but it is grown up with a bunch of grass and weeds, and occasionally you'll find a wooden built fence that you crawl under or jump on top of if you need to get a better view of where you're going, which occasionally you do with that, which sometimes you do with that grass being so high. And you'll even see an old rickety, an old rickety scarecrow still way out in the field, and a crow sitting on it or something like that.
Because crows sit on scarecrows.
Yeah, its head gone and its hat off or something like, or a couple of them like that. And the buildings that you come across are very broken down. But you do come across a few buildings.
I want to check inside of them.
Okay.
Do I have to roll?
Well, that depends. Are you just going to go up to them, or are you going to sneak around, or what are you going to do? Because you're running right now.
I crawl under the fence and I look through a window to see if there's any bandits.
Okay. Do you do that at every house you come to, or?
Yes. Okay. Just to make sure.
Okay. So let me see. You check the first house, and farms have large areas. So this first farm that you come to, definitely broken down, but in better shape than perhaps some further out. You can make me a perception check for it. Plus 5.
That means 9.
So 9. 9 with just your looking around doesn't give you. It doesn't tell you a lot about what's going on. It's kind of dark in there, but you don't hear any movement and you don't smell anything because your fox form has scent, so you don't. You get a bonus to try and smell stuff. You don't smell anything. You mainly just smell the grasses and the breeze blowing. There is a slight tinge of mold and dirt, a heavier dirt smell and mold as you get closer to the house, and you see that it's kind of gotten broken down a little bit. This particular little house seemed to be made of field stone and a few things like that.
I check inside if there's no bandits.
Okay, you didn't see anything when you came in, when you looked in the window. So you check inside, and you look around.
Is there an upstairs?
No, it seems to be a single room farmhouse.
So what do I find inside of it?
Well, you mainly find there's an old chair and an old table, both of which seem to be very unused. You sniff around a bit, and you do think that someone's been here before, but by the smell, not for a while.
Because they moved over to Close or Crosstown or Lord's Farm? Maybe. Closer to Highville?
Based on the amount of decay, you think that it'd probably be someone further away than that, even. Even closer to the time that you are right now. Even more recent, that's the word I'm looking for. But based on the smell and stuff like that, you don't think they were living here. You think that they were probably just some homeless person or someone, some other vagrant or someone who didn't have a home or a gadabout that, like I said, didn't have a home or a place to stay, and they found this place and they stayed here a little bit and then they left. That's kind of the idea you get. You do find Let me see. We will see. You find like a silver spoon.
I take it.
Okay, you find a silver spoon, and that's just about it for what you find.
That's useful.
Yeah, that's of any kind of use. The rest of the stuff is mainly broken around. You think this place has been pretty well picked over, based upon what you're seeing.
I take the silver spoon.
Okay, we will add a silver spoon to your item list. Where's your items? Oh. Silver spoon.
That way I can eat applesauce.
Uh-huh.
What? I can.
Applesauce was not very common in this era. But, anyway.
Applesauce, you just smush apples. And add a little sugar.
Mm-hmm.
Make it sweet.
Yeah, but sugar's not a common thing. Gotta remember. Well, I mean, it's common if you buy it. Okay. So that's what you find at this house. Do you want to keep pushing on to the next house? Do you want to change course? What do you want to do?
I want to see what's in the next house when I get there.
Okay. It's another probably 40 minutes, maybe 50, closer to an hour that you run, look around, and run, look around. But you do come to a structure that was obviously a farmhouse. This one made only of wood, where the other one was made of fieldstone. This one's made only of wood, and it's broken down a little bit. And as you're coming towards it, you can make me another perception check since you are actively looking.
+6.
+5.
Oh, it's 5. So 11? Wait, no. It's 12.
12. So, with the 12, you find that there's a smell. You don't see much, but you smell a little bit of smoke. Your nose seems to tell you that the closer you get to the house, the more the smoke smell you're smelling. It doesn't seem to be coming out of the chimney anymore, but
maybe they closed the chimney off, so they were keeping it at a faint level that no one would see as well. Anyway.
Maybe. So what do you want to do?
Monkeys. What? Monkeys are adorable.
Yes, but you don't get to look in the bestiary while we're doing this. So, what do you want to do?
I sneak inside and look through the crack of the door.
So you want to look inside, okay?
Through the crack of the door.
So you'll need to make me... You said you wanted to sneak, so you'll need to make me a stealth check.
A 12! Natural 12!
A natural 12 plus your stealth, which is 10. So 12 plus 10.
Okay. That's 22.
22.
Do I sneak well now?
You'll find out. I'll roll. Okay. Okay. So you go up and you start looking around, and you sneak around and you start looking around, and the door seems to be, it's not cracked, but there's a crack in it. So as you kind of look around and smell in there and glance around, you kind of smell, and first you smell them because it's easier for you in that form, but then
there's people in there?
You do smell. You smell two distinct people. You can pick out two different scents, and You can't really hear anything right now. They don't seem to be talking, but you hear them moving around and rustling some things around a bit.
Maybe they're little goblins that eat your face off. Or maybe they're people that are bandits, or maybe they're just homeless people that are just in there. Or maybe they're people that will kill people.
You won't know until you go and look.
I turn into my Kitsune form.
Okay.
I go inside. And I say hello.
Okay, you just walk in there and say hello, huh?
I just walk in there and see who's in there first. Okay? See who's in there first.
So you don't sneak in, you just walk in.
Maybe they're werewolves.
You don't know. So you kind of walk in. You just kind of open the door and walk in, and you say, "What?"
Is there anybody in there? Is there?
Oh yeah, there's two. You see two, very stout-looking, bearded, individuals that are shorter than a human. Probably these
dwarves.
They're probably some of the few dwarves. You don't see dwarves a lot over where you're from, but you do see some dwarves, and these look like dwarves, but their skin is really gray.
Maybe they're light elves. Maybe they're stone. Maybe they're in the sun a lot.
No, these don't look like that. They look like they are
dark elves.
They don't look like elves. They look like dwarves. They look like dwarves, and they have gray kind of skin. All the dwarves that you've seen have had kind of brownish,
whitish skin.
Brown, tan, stuff like that. From being around the forge, sometimes red-looking skin, but
like
these
very peachish looking.
Yes. Red. Now. These don't. They, like I said, have a very ash-colored look to them. And there's two of them. You see one of them is there.
I think I know what it is. They're little goblin things.
And then the other, one of them is there walking around, and he just kind of looks at you and turns. He's got a mace. He's got a warhammer in his hand. And the other one has his leg bandaged over on the other side, and he has, he also glances over to you and pulls out his crossbow, and he says,
I mean you no harm.
Is that what you say?
Mm-hmm.
You just walk in and say, I mean you no harm?
When they point the stuff at me.
Okay. They kind of look at each other, and, you hear them kind of look at each other you see them look at each other for a second, and then you hear them say in common, but in common that's not very well pronounced. They say, you don't mean us any harm. And you can tell they're having a hard time saying common, but they say it. What do you want, little fox boy?
I'm just wandering around looking for a camp that may have bandits further out. The chief sent me to look.
They look at each other and they laugh and they say, "Looks like you found it, boy." And they start to attack.
I run out.
No, we gotta roll initiative because they go ahead and roll. They want to attack somebody who has been said to have been sent by a chief.
A natural 1.
Natural 1. Okay.
Plus
your initiative, which is 6. So 1 plus 6.
7.
7. And let's roll theirs. Well, they got even worse on that one. We know who that one's going to be. And that guy got the same thing. These dudes are rolling the same thing. So,
that's 4?
No. They both got 2. So, you get to go first. They get ready and they're about to shoot their... One's going to shoot the crossbow and the other's going to come at you with the warhammer. They don't look like they're dressed very well. They look like
I run out as fast as I
bandana.
can. I run back to Crosstown as fast as I can.
Okay, so you just run back to Crosstown?
Yes, and I head to the chief's office.
Okay. It's not a very big spot that you just popped into. So they're gonna get to hit at you if you just try to run, like bolt. You could take a
I close the door and run out, that's what I'm saying.
Well, you could take a withdraw action and do nothing but move backwards out of their, just withdraw from them. And then next turn you could do like a full run action.
Okay.
Okay, so you kind of pull out of there. You see that one, as you're pulling away, well, you wouldn't know this until next time, but you see one just kind of pull away. You pull away, and then they're like, ugh. Betcha he's got coin. Which you, as best you can decipher, is betcha I bet you he's got coin. And it's their turn now. So the first one, the first ashen dwarf, ash gray dwarf looking thing, he moves up to you. Doesn't have a he doesn't have a ability that's going to help him there, so he's just going to charge you. Okay? He's going to charge up to you and try to hit you.
I dodge and run. Can I dodge and run?
Well, no, it's his turn.
Yeah.
You took a withdraw, but he uses his chance to charge and hit you. Ooh, he probably doesn't hit though. No, a 6 won't hit you. Modified 6 won't hit you. So he kind of goes and swings down, and then he doesn't seem to hit you. So that's his turn. The other one is going to shoot at you with the crossbow. That's he might hit, no, he doesn't hit you. A 13 will not hit you. So you deftly dodge both of them. The one seems to charge at you clumsily, trying to catch up, and then the other doesn't hit you at all.
For my turn, I run as fast as I can back to Crosstown.
Okay. So one of them, so that's your turn. You run, which is a lot of movement.
I run back to Crosstown as fast as I can.
Okay, well you can't go in fox form again. You've already been in fox form all the amount you can today, because it took all of that time to just get to where you are.
I run as fast as I can back to Crosstown for my turn. Am I gonna have to roll a stamina check?
No, not yet. We're gonna let one more round go by and see if something happens. So you go and you are able to get your full action in. You spend all of your time running away from the ashen gray dwarven things, and
they have big ears.
Only one of them seems to be able to come out. Only one of them comes and is able to get to you, or not get to you, but get out near where you're going, and he puts down his warhammer and draws his crossbow, and he's going to shoot at you as you leave. But another 13 does not hit. So the bolt goes across, past your head.
I do.
And you find that it is ineffective at hitting you. Now.
And I try and run back to Crosstown.
Okay. So we're just going to have you make 3 Constitution checks to see how fast you can get back to Crosstown. So roll the first one.
A 4.
4. So you slow down.
A natural 20.
Okay.
A natural 13, 2.
Okay, so the 4 plus your con modifier of 2 is only a 6. So that's you kind of start to slow down at first, but then you catch your second wind with your natural 20, and you ride that that second wind all the way with your 13 plus 2, which is 15, and you make it back to Crosstown you sprint back to Crosstown. So you make it back even faster than you made it out to there. So the first one you went out to was probably about 20 minutes away. That's
hour or so away.
So you were about an hour and 20 minutes away. So you get back there in an hour flat. So you've been gone from Crosstown for about 2-ish hours, and you make it back to the city limits of Crosstown. What do you want to do?
When I'm at the sheriff's office,
is that what you're going to do?
I take a little break.
So you're gonna
the stairs.
You're gonna
until
run.
I get smoother breath.
So you're gonna run all the way to the Shire Reeves office.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you run in through Crosstown. Your Kitsune form fully fledged, and you're just. And you kind of put your hand on the door as you make it to the Shire Reeves, and you're like, your Kitsune tongue is, and you spend a few moments. You take some water out of your water skin and lick it up and stuff, and you let yourself get your breathing back calmed down before you go into the office.
And I tell him, I sit down, I have a seat.
Okay.
Is he there, though?
Well, you don't know. You just walked in. This Crosstown's big enough where the Shire Reeve has a sizable office. So his personal office is in the back.
How do I get to the back, though? Is it just a straight hall?
Well, there's a receptionist right here at the front that kind of heads off, and there's a young lady deputy that they have there.
I say hello, and I ask her where I could find the Shire Reeves office.
Oh, the Shire Reeve? He's back that way, but who's calling? We don't just let people waltz in off the street and talk. Moon.
He's met me before. He asked me to go see the bandits or something. And I know, and I have information for him.
Oh. Okay. She kind of looks at you oddly. I'll go back and check. So she kind of gets up, looks at you a bit. You can tell she's got her hair cut short, on a bob cut, and she's got some chainmail, probably armor, and she carries a sword with her by her side. But other than that, she's not super different from any of the other guards that you've seen. She doesn't have the full town guard get up like one might have. She has a bit more of a she's not as geared out as they are. She seems to be someone who's got something else going on besides just going out and patrolling the streets type thing. She goes back in the back, her booted feet clicking on the wooden planks, and she is gone for a minute. You hear whoop, 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 whoop. So, you hear that, and she comes back. Oh yes, Moon, come this way, come this way.
And I follow her.
And she said, she takes you back that way. It's just like a few. The hallway's not long. It's just like 8-10 feet. 10-15 feet. But she takes you back there, and as she does, she says, best keep the fact that you're working with the Shire Reeve under wraps. He's wanting to make sure that anyone of the deputies that might have been bought off doesn't find out. So don't go worry. Telling people.
I won't. I've only seen the people I have information for. No. That's all.
You told me. So just don't blurt it out next time, eh? So, right in here. And she lets you right in. And, Masterson looks at you and says, how would he do?
What?
Yeah. You're back quickly, eh? No, that's not him.
Sheriffy voice?
Sharp. Right.
Yeah, that voice.
So now, no. Shoot. I know people can make fun of me in the comments. I'm trying to get it back in my head. Now, so there you are. You're back. Oh, you're back pretty quick.
They're these grayish, they're this grayish, dwarvish. They both have crossbows, but one has an injured leg, and the other one has a warhammer with none injured. And they have bandanas.
So you just found 2 of them?
Yes, just 2.
That's odd. They don't usually. I'm so used to going into Cockney. So you just found out that and
they're mean.
Well, they're bandits. Yeah, they're gonna be mean. They ain't gonna be having fun with you. So you found them though. You're saying?
Yes.
There are just 2 of them?
Yes, just 2.
That didn't sound right.
But there are just 2.
I don't know, boy. Seems odd that there's just 2 of them. So
I know. The first one was empty with a silver spoon. And I showed the silver spoon. Then the one I went to next was the one with the bandits.
Well, where'd you find them?
A little behind between Mountainwood and Crosstown.
Between the Mountainwood or the mountains?
Mountainwood.
Between the mountains is where you found.
Between the mountains and Crosstown, but a little behind that.
Okay. All right. Now,
Daddy, why are you having trouble talking like that?
Because I'm slipping into Cockney. I'm slipping into bad English.
Because of those dwarves?
Downright plum. So, downright plum done it. Alright, boy. Now, if that's how it is, then you're gonna probably... There's just 2 of them?
Yes, I can show you them.
Well, they're probably gonna be gone by the time we get there. But where did you find them? Now, that's what I'm trying to clarify. Because were they out in the open, or what was going on?
They were out in the open in a farm. Inside the house. Well, they weren't out in the open. They were inside this old farm house.
Which one was it?
The Forgotten Farms. The second one from the first one from here.
The second farm out there.
Yes.
All right. I think I know where that is. They're that close?
Yes. Just 1 hour away, and then 2 if you run at your fastest back here.
That's concerning. They're probably a scouting group. I need you to...
Then they know. Then they know I'm from you. That I'm here from the sheriff. You.
What? Why'd you say that? Why would they know that?
I didn't know they were bandits. I thought it was further away, like actually in between the mountains and here.
For future reference, don't go blurting out who you're working for. That doesn't hold you well unless you're supposed to be working for me in a official sense. It doesn't matter. You got me the information of where they are. Alright.
I mean...
I'm gonna need more information. I gotta have more information to know what's going on. Don't go back out there now. Wait till tomorrow. And then you'll be able... They'll think that nothing happened, because if we don't go out there and find it out, if I don't send anybody out there looking today, they'll think that no one believed you, and then they'll think, oh, well, that fox boy was just bluffing, just lying through his little cunning teeth. That's what they'll think, or something like that. And then we'll send you back out, and you can get us some more information, because that's what I need. I need to know when they're coming.
And they don't speak English very well.
What'd they look like again?
Ashy dwarvish.
Like their skin was ashy, or...
Their skin was ash color.
Oh, and they look like dwarves, just ash-colored dwarves, for me.
Yes.
Ah, sounds like Durgar. They're deep dwarves. It's weird that they'd be up on the surface, though.
Well, they're not outside. They're in a barn thing.
Yeah. And they seemed like they were fit and ready to fight, huh?
Yes. The one with the good legs was walking around.
Well, what do you mean the one with the good legs?
The one that didn't have a broken leg.
Oh, so one had a broken leg. That may be slowing them down. That's good. Alright, you go back to your room. Pretend like nothing happened.
Okay.
Alright? And then tomorrow we'll go back out. You'll go back out.
Do I meet you here, or
don't bother meeting me at all. You head out when you're ready tomorrow. Yeah. And that way, you'll be able to kind of get an idea of where they're going. They may not be moving too fast if they got just them two and one of them's hurt.
Well, one of them has a broken leg, so they wouldn't get here fast.
Right. So, now, alright, I'll make my plans on my end. I'll get some of my trusted deputies, and then we'll let you move out tomorrow.
What if it is one of your trusted deputies that are working with them?
No, I've got a couple that I know for sure. I got more than a couple that I trust, but I've got a couple of a certain amount of experience that I know I can trust. And there's a few I'm kind of on the fence about. I know we'll take probably Delilah outside. And
you may need some to surround it in case they try and escape the one. And he has a big fat Fort Warhammer.
Alright. We'll go back tomorrow.
And they both have crossbows.
Meet me at the first house. The first farm. At the Forgotten Farms. Tomorrow. I'll have some of my trusted people with me. And we'll go and capture them. See if we can get some information from them.
And they'll fight back.
Oh, I don't doubt it. But hopefully we can get at least one of them without killing both of them. Then we can get some information.
Do you have handcuffs or something?
I got some manacles, yeah. Alright.
All we have to do is get manacles around their hands and they won't be able to attack us.
Well, I mean, they wouldn't be able to attack us with their hands, but yeah. Alright, you go back to the Golden Grain. We'll meet there tomorrow at the first house in the Forgotten Farms.
Okay.
And that's where we'll pick it up next time.
and that was not surprising. Just look at the time.
Yeah. Well, they can't see the time.
I'm talking to Daddy. I'm talking to you.
Mm-hmm. But that's all that said. We're also doing milestone leveling this time. We're not going to do the experience points leveling, simply because I'm going to get it, like I told y'all before, I'm going to get them up to level 3 by the time we make it to June. So that means that we're going to go ahead and level up to level 2 this time. So next time you see Moon, that's why he's going back to the Golden Grain, and he's going to level up.
Once I go to sleep.
So, there we go. That's all. We hope you enjoyed this episode, guys. It was nice to have him not have to worry about getting involved with a problematic charge from crime or something like that, and actually getting to help out the town.
And thank you, Tommy, for making this new map.
Yes, I'm sure Tommy will appreciate the thanks. Yeah, I think that's everything. So, do remember the Patreon, do remember all the stuff that's going on. We will see you next time. Have a great day. God bless and enjoy. Bye! This content was made possible by the generous support of patrons and travelers like you. Thank you.